I'm calling in from the land and the territory of the Sunimu people, and it's a real honor to be here. And if for those of you who may know me, you'll know that I tend to run counter to whatever it is it seems to be that I'm asked to do. And the reason for that is that the opposing force that we experience in our lives is really, really powerful. I was just reflecting, Adara, in the same way, how there's this incredible building of all of the women here who are essentially doing the same types of work, which is how do you access the technologies that you need to be you? And we've already just seen a whole host of beautiful technologies that people can use. So when people want to talk about peace in their heart, a lot of times the place that they want to go to is, I want to hear the nice tinkly massage music, and I want everything to be really quiet and really nice. And sometimes that's exactly the path, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with anything. That peace in our heart actually comes from our unique ability to show up as we are, which is this actually incredible alchemy process of stripping off everything that isn't us. So whether those were the stories that we started with that weren't ours that we took on, or the lack of the acknowledgement of our shadow, which is such a powerful instigator of transformation and growth that as women culturally we've been asked to just suppress and just put on a nice smile and shine and put a pretty bow in your how about if we just show up and be ourselves? I have the story of the peace in my heart was coming to peace with exactly who I am, as big as I am, and as you can tell, as loud as I am. And that place took quite a bit of time. So I'll share two parts of this story about achieving peace in your heart. The first one is really excavate the stories that don't belong to you, the places and the narratives that you've been carrying around like a ton of bricks because of shame and vulnerability, as so beautifully stated by some of the women here. And one of them for me is I was told my entire life, you're too loud and you talk too much and you need to be quiet. Always, always, always. And to give you an example of how that journey came full circle, it's really challenging to be a big, vibrant person who is attracted deeply to the technologies of yoga when we get a large frame of human beings who think yoga is this very quiet place where you go to be very quiet. Well, yes, there are beautiful yoga studios where you can go and be very quiet, and that's a wonderful thing to do. And if you come to my yin classes, you'll actually think I've had a schizophrenic break because I am quite quiet in those spaces, unlike Kundalini yoga. But in these places, I was told again, as I'm following my passion, if you would just, adopt a more yogic voice, if you would be a little quieter, if you could just tone everything down about who you are, then we will accept you into this space. And I tried it for about 3 seconds. And then I stopped completely, and I just kept reinventing until I found how to create and support people in a big love way. And as soon as I did, everything went from being very small and very tight to being very open and spacious and peaceful. In this funny little circling of the story, one of my students is currently going to be opening a new yoga studio in Nanaimo. Lovely, wonderful, soft-hearted, kind, grace moving through the universe. And she came to me and said, Jay, I'm doing this, I'm opening this, will you come teach here? Not seeing the space, not knowing much. I said, of course I would. Support, sisterhood, yeah, let's celebrate it, let's do it. She brings me to the space, and this beautiful, beautiful space, which I'm going to encourage many of you to go to, everyone to go to who lives in our local Zoom environment, is surrounded by massage rooms, which is wonderful if you're teaching yin or something with lovely tinkly, tinkly music. That would be an amazing place to teach. And I looked at Lynn right in her eyes and I said, you're asking me to teach here? And she said, yeah. I said, Lynn, when is the last time you remember how I sound when I teach? I said, if I was on a registered massage table over there, I don't want to hear me coming through the door. And she goes, well, and she meant no harm. She goes, wouldn't you mind just being a little quieter? And that was the immediate moment that I knew I was truly at peace. Those little reminders about where peace resides in your heart is being yourself. I was like, no, absolutely not. That would be a disservice to myself, my heart, who I am, and to you and your clients and all the people that you're bringing into this space. What I will do is I will rent your space, or I will come and teach for you on the weekends. The massage therapists don't work on the weekends. Because on average, just to give you a teeny tiny taste, if you were to come to find peace in your heart, in my general location, it's going to sound like this. Now, we've been sitting and listening. Stand up. So as you can see, sitting in a very beautiful space, surrounded by massage therapists, and I crack one of these babies open, that's not going to fly. But when you have peace in your heart, when you've come to this incredible place where you know who you are, and you can live from that space, the darkness, the light, the vulnerability, the shame sandwiches, the big love, the big pain, and the truth of who you really are, then you step into life and the doors open. The most powerful thing we can be as women is who we are, not who we've been asked to be or reminded to be, not if we were told to be quiet or to speak up, but finding exactly our voice as it is brings peace to your heart. And as illuminated by many of these beautiful women here tonight that I'm so honored to be in the company of, this is an emotional game. This is a spiritual game. This is a physical game. It affects your nervous system, your endocrine system, your musculoskeletal system. It affects your breath. And that the technologies that I utilize around yogic technologies, mantra, meditation, dance parties, lots of dance parties. These things heal us, heal our hearts so that peace, it's not something you seek. You don't go get it. It's right here. We just remove the things that aren't ours to begin with so that we return to the peace in our hearts. Thank you so much, and thank you for being brave and dancing.